Saw it last night. Yeah, it was actually quite a show. It thoroughly surprised me. Of course, there was some variation between the plays, you know, some acting differences, some theme differences, plenty of things for all people of all, not ages. Sort of mature, little high-end material. Some of it I don't even think most adults would get. But that's the art scene for you. What really surprised me about it was that the one-person act actually was enjoyable for me. As a general rule, one person up on stage annoys the fuck out of me, okay? It's nothing against any particular person, male, female, somewhere in between. I don't care. It's just the act of performance seems so narcissistic in my personal opinion. I mean, stand-up comedians do it all the time, but the best ones usually find a way to rag on themselves during that. This is why I actually think the one-person plays they did, but that's not all they did. I'll get more into the one-person plays in a bit. But overall, it was quite enjoyable. There was some dramatic tension, but as I said to someone outside when I used my e-cigarette, the comedy came in buckets, even in some of the most serious ones. As I said, the acting varied, which is interesting considering that you comprised a single company of actors, but I think that's for good. Especially the first act, some things need to be played a certain way. Last act, completely monotone. First act, overhyped. Should I say scene, not act. First scene, overhyped, like watching the WWE for women. Last act, corporate drones. I'm not going to get any more into it, but overall, the overacting and the stale acting of that. Overall, the quality of acting was quite high. They matched it for the scene that they went into. There was some really hard things that I think there was a few kinks in it. I even heard that during the intermission in the middle. There was a kink in the last scene and the first act. But unless you had a keen eye, you missed it. And hopefully they'll fix that in the future. I really was impressed with what they did with what they were working with. They had stage lights, they had a screen, and they managed to make the most use of that screen and the lighting for various effects within each one of the scenes. I can't think of any one in particular that sort of fails to utilize it, but I was impressed with the usage of lights. The director and any production, I think, did a fabulous job on this production. Or multiple productions if you want to look at it that way. There was back to the one-person act one, they had just a few scenes, you know, one-person show, but it was intermixed with something different, something not narcissistic in my opinion, something very relatable in each one of the one-person scenes, except for the sort of Sarah McLachlan stylish ones that just made you angry and want to a little bit cry at the time. That's probably where the only heavy dramatic tension is played up in these particular 10-minute playwright scenes. Only one dance number, but short and sweet and to the point, and it really didn't overstay its welcome. Overall, I don't like heavy-handed media. So I really think they did a great job of integrating whatever message they were putting forward in each one of these scenes forward to the viewer. Some came off as bad and some were just annoying, but it's more the personalities involved. The actors put to life the characters enough that I'm like, I'm gonna punch this guy. He's an asshole. Okay? Unlike my bro show, there was, again, one person who laughed. Luckily, they were on the other side of the auditorium, and I think that might have been a plant. There was a particularly interesting scene in the first act, although very controversial, let's say. It did a good job of maintaining a balance between comedy and dread. I commend whatever writer wrote that particular scene. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I'm sure anyone who sees it knows what I'm talking about. And the last scene, that was impressive too. That was impressive in a completely different way. So, what did I? The stage, the direction, the acting, the music. It went well with it. Sounded good. There's no real exception. It worked well. Okay, it didn't overpower any of the actors' performance or any of the pieces. Sometimes it was a centerpiece for some of the more artistic ventures done on that stage. And sometimes it was just background ambient noise that did a good job of establishing the scene. See, got the stage, lights, camera, action. Overall, I'm very impressed at the play. Me, who personally tries to avoid laughing and don't laugh out loud a lot in these things, actually it forced a few chuckles out of me, a few Ola laughs out of me, and that is a rare exception, even if it doesn't sound like it. I'm not totally humorless. Yaddy, yaddy, yaddy. Until next video, thank you for watching, and check out the local theater in your town, Baltimore, or whatever city is close to you. Thank you for watching, and world around Cape Town.